This is Desert Homestead Prepping. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. So I figured we'd go over what our plans are for this property that we just bought. So we didn't buy this just for the land. I mean, there's other plots of land that we could have got for a lot cheaper. We actually bought it for two reasons. For one, it's right next door to ours, so it's really easy to just expand. And the other reason is because this cabin could become another source of income. The cabin and possibly the RV. So what we're thinking is we're going to turn this into possibly an Airbnb. So we're not really sure if people are going to be interested in coming out here. I do think that we'll get a few people here and there, but who knows, we might be surprised. What I do know is there is no Airbnb, there's no motels, hotels, or anything like that anywhere near here. And so we're hoping that maybe we can bring in some people who are maybe hunters, because in the hunting season, this is a very prime place to be able to go hunting. And you know, we might be able to get a few people who want to go and explore this area. There are some really fun and interesting places to explore. We're right on the edge of the mountains right here, and endless trails and all kinds of places all throughout these mountains. And then there's some really interesting, I guess you would say, sights to see out in the desert. People have built some weird things out there. But yeah, so that's one of the main things that we're thinking. We can use this as a source of income, and then with the rest of the land, we can utilize that for livestock. So with those plans, we do have some issues that we need to deal with on this cabin. So the problem with this cabin, and we do kind of have a bit of buyer's remorse, a little regret, because we found that there's a lot more going on with this place that needs to be fixed. Now we don't want to bash anybody. We believe that the previous owners had great, honest intentions. They knew about some of the condition or some of the problems with condensation. But as we started looking more into it, we found that there's more serious issues. And one of the main issues is the fact that this cabin sits right on the ground, and it is not level, not even close. It drastically leans to this side over here. Okay, let me show you just how crooked this place is. You can see the bubble on this level, and it's pretty drastic. This table right here, this countertop is level, but take a look. So that's how drastic this is. So that's level right there. That is quite an extreme difference. And you can just see how it is all the way across the board. This is pretty bad. And it's pretty drastic. You can set a ball over here, and it's gonna roll all the way across the cabin. I don't have a ball with me, but I got these, and they'll roll pretty good. You'll see how drastic this leans that way. Just rolls away. Pretty amazing. You know, we thought about just leaving it, but as you know, as I've been making plans to insulate the outside and put siding on the outside and put a roof on it, I just started thinking, you know what, I really should level it before I add to the structure, because it'll be so much more difficult to come back and do that later. And then I started thinking about, should it be on a foundation? And you know, that really goes into what if we possibly want to sell sometime in the future. And if we want to sell this place in the future because maybe we get old or have health problems or something like that, a bank's never going to give anybody a mortgage for a place that doesn't have a foundation. And the value of this place, it would cost somebody way too much to just pay for that out of pocket. So we do need to come back if I'm going to level it and put in foundation pillars. And thankfully there is some neighbors who have done that. They have built a large shipping container home out of 8 shipping containers, and they have had to put in foundation pillars, talk to the guy, and came up with a great plan to be able to do it fairly easily. And I believe I can get it done. So foundation pillars to anchor it down to, that's going to get us according to state code. And then after that, we can add to it, put the roof on the top of it, insulate the outside, put siding on the outside. And then this will actually be a structure that would pass off any kind of building codes. The other problem to deal with is, as I start leveling this covered roof area is going to be a challenge, because it's going to twist and tweak. But this was not attached to these posts properly. These posts are only attached by wood screws, so all the weight of this 2x6 is sitting on wood screws, which is not gonna be sufficient. I'm amazed that the wind hasn't ripped this thing off, that it hasn't ripped it off yet. And so if we get to a point where we have a serious heavy snow load and high wind conditions, we're gonna lose this. So it needs to be done the way that I did mine over there. We need to have a 4x4 header, and it needs to rest on top of the posts and be bolted to the posts. And that way it's going to be anchored securely with strong bolts. And I'm talking like, 3/4 inch bolts. And then it will sit on the 4x4 header, which is, the load of anything on top of it is going to push down on it, and it should be very strong and secure. Yeah, so I think that's the plan. Either way, I could know that it's going to be secure and it's going to be built right. That's one of those things that happens in life. I do have some regrets in how I built my cabin over there, because we weren't thinking the homestead permanent living type mindset when I built that. My mind was really focused more on being a prepper and having an emergency evacuation point that had all the supplies and food we needed, and we'd get out here and be able to figure it out. And so the cabin just needed to be a comfortable place, really needed to be something for vacation getaway. And now, after we've changed and realized true preppers are homesteaders and that we needed to be out here full time, I regret that I didn't build that place with a more permanent mindset. I wish I would have taken more time to put that place on foundation pillars and, make it a little nicer and a little more comfortable for permanent living. I mean, and it's fine. We're enjoying it just fine. But there's a lot that I look at there and think, you know, if I had a chance, I'd change it. And we might. Anyway, that's really the plans for this place. So as we continue working on this, we're going to bring you along, and we're going to, you know, show you every step of the way. And hopefully it doesn't take too long. We do have some other things that need to be done. We got to get some other food sources coming in, you know, just some simple chicken eggs and whatever we're having in the garden is really something anybody could do anywhere. We need to get something more substantial and bringing in much more of a quantity of food off of our land. So we're going to start working on some of those things as we work on this. And this is, you know, it ain't going nowhere. I mean, we don't have to worry about it. It doesn't have to be done right now or within the next couple months. A little here, a little there, and we'll get some things done, and we'll just take it one step at a time. So make sure you guys come back, and we should have some more action-packed videos showing you what we're doing and working on this cabin and other things around the homestead.